Okay, well, I couldn't help myself. There were two fight missions in Sector, and I had to pick them both up. One is an easy kill, and the other one is a very hard patrol. So I figured I've gotten away with some of the hard missions. I would give this a try, at least see what it's like. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and jump over, try to do the kill first, because I'm supposed to be patrolling here.
Jump device charging at
And we'll see how this goes.
20.
I don't take kindly to your attention, pilot. Arming weapons. I'm taking damage. Request immediate assistance.
Pirate discover incoming message. You have gained recognition. Jump device charging at 10%. 20.
Okay,
30,
see if we can get to the patrol in time.
40. 50%.
Don't mean to abuse SATA so much, but just trying to get there quicker for purposes of the video. And
on behalf of our President and Senator, the Argon Federation thank you for your help with this invader.
Target is now in firing range.
yeah, this is a very sweet paying mission if I can pull it off. Oh, that hurt. I guess that would be a big if. And again, I forgot to restock missiles, so don't do that. After this, I will definitely pick up some heavy hitters. And a stock of mosquitoes for missiles, or anti-missiles. Okay, come on.
Target is now in firing range.
You must be feeling very, very lucky.
Sorry about that, didn't mean to shoot the Titan.
Windstalker missile. Target is now in firing range. No aim. Argon. Military. Bus Argon. Casino.
You are talking to... You require assistance?
Okay, well, no need to apologize, nobody's red. Okay, and getting back to the patrol. Alright, well, there you have it. Very hard mission. Nice job on the patrol. Eliminated 4 ships. 581k. So, they are doable. That was fun. And 5 million. This is great. I might skip the station building altogether and go straight for an M6. We'll see.
Autopilot off. Firing range. Autopilot off.
Okay, I just wanted to remind you, I realized that it's probably a bit confusing. the way I'm putting these videos together. In 1 second I'll say, after finishing one segment, okay, here's what I'm probably going to do next, and then 10 seconds later in the same video I'm saying I'm going to do something completely different. I just want to remind you that you know, I play this game as I have time, and sometimes that's the next day, sometimes it's days apart, and sometimes it's weeks apart. And so by the time I do get back to it, you know, what I plan on doing that day just changes because I've been away from the game for a while. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And speaking of changing my mind, playing bumper cars here. I just loaded my game to do this video, and there was quite a few pirates in the sector, so I'm taking them out real quick. But oh yeah, speaking of changing my mind, I know I said I'm probably going to pick up a Centaur or an M6, but I'm going to go ahead and build a station and do something that I've always wanted to do, I've never done in this game, and that is build a space fuel and space weed complex. So in this episode I'm going to build what will be the beginning of a massive complex, I hope, and try this out. I understand that it is quite the money maker. I've just never owned one, so here's our chance to find out together. You can put them in unknown sectors, pirate sectors, and I'm almost positive, and we'll find out now, Talati sectors. So I'm going to kill two birds with one stone, and I have found a Talati sector that is one jump away from Trinity Sanctum. And yeah, I haven't mapped Ministry of Finance yet. I've played this game for a long time, so I certainly don't feel guilty about doing this. I have a fully detailed printed map on my desktop that I'm using for reference. You know, the first time you play, of course, you want to enjoy the exploration aspect, but after you've played a dozen games or so, you just want to remember where something is. So anyways, I'm using that as a reference, and I know that there's a Talati shipyard down here, so I am going to go ahead and pick up. I'm not sure what I can buy with my funds right now, with 5.2 million, but I'm positive I can buy at least one set of factories to be self-sufficient, with the exception of energy. Yeah, I need to go down and take a look at this before I sit here and rattle off names that I can't remember what they are. So anyways, the point is I'm going to build the space weed / space fuel here in Bad Debt, which may or may not be a good idea. I know there's a pirate station in the sector, but it's one jump away from Paranid Space also, and they will trade with the station, which will develop my reputation with them, while at the same time the Talatis and anyone else who comes through trading and making me, I hope, a lot of money. So first things first, I've got to hire a transport ship station, since I don't a transport station ship since I don't own one yet. I don't have the money for it. They're about 30 million. There's not one in this sector now, so I'm going to fly down to Ministry of Finance where the shipyard is. I'm going to map it out real quick, and I'm going to keep an eye out for a ship that can haul stations, and go ahead and hire her, and I'll be back when I get that done. Okay, I haven't completely mapped out Ministry of Finance, but I've mapped out everything that I need. I found a shipyard that sells Bliss Place, which is what produces space weed, and they also sell dream farms, which produce swamp plants. Now the swamp plants is one of the resources of the Bliss Place next to energy. Now I'm not going to build a closed loop yet. It's very expensive to build a closed loop that includes a solar power plant, because the solar power plant has a lot of dependencies. So what I'm going to do is, and what I've done is I went to a website, and all you have to do is Google a complex calculator, and it will pull up several decent ones. And you know, you don't have to be 100% accurate. It gives you a really good idea. I found one, and I punched in Bliss Place, and you basically pick the race, which I'm in Talati space, and you pick the size, which this is the one available here is medium. And then I punched in Dream Farm medium, and it will calculate how much space weed it produces an hour, how much energy it needs, and it'll show it in red if you don't have enough. And then will also calculate how much swamp plant you need, which it will also show in red if you don't have enough. So I basically figured out, for starting purposes, it's almost 1-to-1, the Bliss Place and the Dream Farm. So at least for now, I am going to buy just one of each, and I'm going to put a complex construction kit in so that they'll function together. Then all I need is one hauler to be set to buy energy cells for this station. And he'll go out as long as I have money in the station, continually buy energy, and bring it back, and then they will produce, this station will produce both swamp plants, which combined with the energy will be used to build, to produce space weed. And then my station will begin to sell it, create money and reputation. You'll notice that I'm trading with a station, and the size of all of these products, now if I scroll down you see ships, they're all white, I can buy them. But the stations I can't, because it says that the size is ST or station, and of course they won't fit in my ship. So you either need to own a ship that can haul them, or you need to hire one. And like I said, I don't own one. But there is a Talati supply albatross in the sector. So we are going to autopilot close to him, close enough to open communications. We'll hire him.
You are talking to... I am a Talati captain.
I want you to transport something. They'll charge you 500 credits for every gate they go through, which we're not really going through any. Sure, please follow me. Okay, he's hired now. Now, if you open up your properties window, you'll see that he's here. It's listed in white as opposed to green. It doesn't belong to you, but he's hired. So if we select him, call him the captain again, we can ask him to move to the shipyard, select the sector, and select the shipyard. And now he will begin to move to this shipyard. Once he gets there, then you can trade with the station, and they'll no longer be red because you'll be able to load your stations into the Talati ship. Okay, I'll be back when he's docked. Okay, my Talati supply albatross has docked at the Talati shipyard, and he's ready to accept my stations that I purchased. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I have the best chances in the world of properly placing the stations. And in order to use the advanced view or satellite view, you have to have a satellite in the sector. I'm pretty sure that's an advanced satellite, but I won't bet on it. I'm not an encyclopedia for the game, but I always use advanced satellites. There's no reason to buy anything cheaper. You can find these anywhere after you've been playing the game for a while. So, looking at the sector map, it's not here yet. I do have some in my freight bay. I have 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to select it. Now, if I only had one, the only option would be to eject, and I've said this in the tutorials also, but this is a great example. I have 3. Of course, I don't want to eject all 3 of them. I just want to put one in this space for now so that I have access to viewing the stations as I place them. So I'm going to select the amount, and I'm only going to put one into space and hit OK.
Advanced satellite ejected.
And now you can see it's here, right where I'm at. So now I have not only a satellite view when I'm placing my station so that I can see the outline of the station and make sure that I'm not overlapping and colliding with a previously placed structure, which will eventually cause it to explode, and align them really well, but I can also observe the station while I'm not here. And I can also check the stock of different stations like the shipyard. I can see if they have a certain ship I'm looking for, etc. So you definitely want advanced satellites. And I covered this in the tutorial series, but probably the best way to do this, the most convenient way, is to get yourself a few explorer ships, really fast ships like the Kestrel. Stock them up with advanced satellites and just give them the order to deploy satellite networks, and they'll do a lot of this for you. Alright, so let's get started. I've placed this. You can either do it, you can either do this by well, no, you really need to select the station. So let's select the shipyard, D for trade. And now you will see that the ST or size indicator of station is now white, meaning I can buy these because I have a ship docked that can hold them. Alright, so the bliss place is what makes or produces space weed. And again, its primary resources are energy cells and swamp plants. We're not going to build solar power plants. That's just too expensive right now. But for the swamp plant, dream farms are pretty cheap relatively, and they produce the swamp plants. And again, I've looked this up on the complex calculators, and for starting purposes, you know, 1 for 1 will keep it running indefinitely as long as you have a hauler constantly buying energy for it. And that's definitely a cheap option. So we're going to do this one at a time. I'm going to buy a single bliss palace by selecting it, pressing the right arrow once, hitting enter. And then it asks you, where do you want to load this? And I'm going to load it into my hired Talati Supply Albatross.
Bliss Place bought.
Now I'm going to buy a supporting dream farm to go with it.
Dream Farm bought.
Now anytime you have more than one station in a complex, you have to have a complex construction kit. So let's pick one of those up.
Complex construction kit.
And I'm probably not going to have room for more than one, but I'll go ahead and buy what I can, and then I'll come back on a second trip and pick up what's missing. So let's see if we can get a second round. Here's the second bliss place.
Bliss Place bought.
And as you can see, a lot of the STs have turned red again, meaning that the supply albatross is running out of space. I've almost filled it up. So there's not enough space for these. However, there is enough space for one more dream farm, and probably not enough for a complex construction kit too, but we'll see. Let's pick one of these up.
Dream Farm bought.
And I'll have to come back and pick up the last complex construction kit, but that's okay. I have the money for it, and that will give me 2 of each, producing the space weed. And I'm hoping that's going to be as good money as I've heard it will be, but let's find out together. So I've purchased these, and now I need to find a good place to build them. Now, of course, you have to be in a sector that will allow them because it's illegal goods, and the Talati value money over everything, so you can build them here. The next thing is to the best of my understanding, if you want to trade with the other races by building a station, before they will trade with your station, they have to register it into their artificial intelligence database, if you will. And the way they do that is one of their ships has to fly within scanner range of your station. So now Talati is great because they're so universal. I mean, just looking at the sector map right in this moment, there's boron ships, split ships, argon, NMMC, Paranid, etc. I mean, you can pretty much find there's Goner. I mean, you can find every race in here because they're so generically minded. So this is a great place to build it. And now you also, referring back to what I just said about the ships registering or the races registering your station in their database of artificial intelligence, you want to look at the flow of traffic. Now, between this north and west gate, you see that there's this big line of haulers, and that's pretty heavy traffic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my station complex somewhere right around here so that every single one of these ships flying through this heavy traffic pattern will fly right by my station. They'll register it and hopefully start spending lots and lots of money at my factory. So you don't have to be there with your ship. As a matter of fact, I think you can be anywhere in this sector, and your supply albatross that you've hired can be anywhere in this sector, and you can tell them to drop the station. So this typically gets a little bit tricky. The first couple of stations really doesn't matter if you know what you're doing. You can't really mess that up. After that, it can get pretty hectic, so I've made a habit of saving my game before I place it in case I make a stupid mistake. I can just load and try again. And this is where salvage insurance comes in very handy because you can save in space, like where I'm at right now. So I'm going to pause the video capture. I'm going to dock because I don't have any salvage insurance. Save my game, and I'll be back, and then we will start building this future money-producing machine.